Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you all to International Affairs, being broadcasted from the SATV's Gulshan studio. Today is a Thursday as we approach the end of the month. It's 30th July, and there are several updates that I want to share with you all in dissecting all of these news articles, these stories, these events, and how it changes the life as we know it. Before we jump into the discussion, let me introduce my panel. Here in the studio, I will have Major Dr. Khosrow Samad. He is a professor of pharmacology as well as a military analyst, appeared on this show before. I welcome you on to the program. Alongside, we will have Norman Floyd Barnes, our geopolitical correspondent, joining on this very program from Washington, District of Columbia. A very good morning to you, Norman. I want to begin the discussion with you today. We see that heavier strikes are now on the cards for the U.S. administration towards Iran. We also see that the placement of the fighting has moved away to its neighbor in Iraq. There has been certain strikes that have killed at least 20 members of the former pro-Iranian paramilitary alliance. I also want to ask you, what are some of the updates that you see from the U.S.? There is a news about top health official Anthony Fauci, very popular doctor from the U.S. during the COVID times, as he was at a tense U.S. Senate hearing, continuously pleading the fifth. I want to pass it to you, Norman. A very good morning. What are some of the updates that you have?
Good morning. Yes, the Congress is, I guess they're talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, and Dr. Fauci was questioned, and he repeatedly during the questioning invoked the Fifth Amendment and refusing the answer, which caused a lot of speculations. But this was expected. This process is one that Congress is trying to do a witch hunt. And now Dr. Fauci is up for his turn at talking to Congress about what happened. So we're watching another day of drama. He evoked the fifth. He's not answering questions, and Congress have to make a decision whether or not they hold him in contempt or they move on. So while we're looking at that, the war situation has, escalated to Iraq. The United States responded by and was started by attacking military installations by Iran situated in Iraq. And Iran responded by hitting Kuwait again, this time one of the factories or firms by the Chinese.
Right.
So we're now doing this tit-to-tat situation, and it appears that no end is in sight. The negotiation part has basically slowed down, and this throwing rocks at each other is continuing to get more expansive, going to different areas. So right now, today is Thursday, and we have no chance of getting to any type of closure here. It looks like it's now expanding, and no one wants to talk. They just want to throw rocks at each other. So that's where we're at right now. We still dealing with the weather. France, Europe is still dealing with the weather, but it looks like a turn is going to come in, because now we're looking at rain, potential rain that may slow down the process. But these occurrences is now happening all over the planet. We get rain, we get fire, we get wind, we get flooding. These things are going to take over the news as we move forward, because we are still looking at a change. The earth is still evolving, adjusting itself, and the people and the countries will have to understand that while you're fighting and while you're worrying about your internal issues, you are not taking in account that nature has a play in this. Nature is determining how things go. So once again, we're back to the same situation: is that how do we deal with nature in the midst of our insecurities and our difference between each other?
Excellent statements coming from Norman Floyd Barnes, really looking at the geopolitical scenes that we see in the Middle East as well as nature's calamities from around the world, definitely involving the wildfires in Europe between France and Spain. And as recently we've seen in southern Japan, an earthquake with the magnitude 7.1 has taken the lives of 30 people in an updated death toll by NHK, the Japanese broadcaster that has reported this. Turning into the studio with Dr. Khosrow Samad. You see, I want to ask you regarding the Middle Eastern situation, what kind of agenda do we see of the nations? Because there is news, even a nation like Jordan, neighboring to Israel, neighboring to Syria, says it has downed 5 Iranian missiles on the 4th consecutive day of attacks. It really signals the military prowess of Iran, even after Donald Trump has said that their navy, their army, their air force has been completely obliterated. These comments were made earlier on. But even now, Iran retains the capacity to continue a wider scale war. Saudi Arabia jumping in with US regards to Iraq attack. And it really is a dilemma for Saudi Arabia to understand how they will move away from oil-dependent economy to a more open economy standard. If you look at the nuclear deal that was on the cards with the US, it will only be arrived if they acknowledge, recognize the state of Israel. How do you see this Middle Eastern situation? It has adverse effects all over the world, and the first 3 months of the war really did give a realistic scare to everyone who was affected. How do you see these recent developments?
Thank you very much. Before entering to the core content, as COVID was touched, let me recapitulate the touch of the COVID and the Trump. When COVID became the threat throughout the world, and world is yet to discover any effective vaccine or medicine, that time suddenly Trump came to the media and he told that chloroquine, the drug which is used for the malaria treatment, whether the malaria, whether the COVID, he told that this is a medicine which is used for the treatment, which can be used for the treatment of COVID.
Right.
Listen, gentlemen, this is an exclusively matter of the medical matters, and world famous scientists are in the dilemma what to do and what not to do. And he quoted the reference of the FDA. What happened? Let us recapitulate what happened in Dhaka. The shop where the malarial medicine was there, it is also other used like the joint pain, rheumatologists and others. All the medicine was sold by a day because Trump was Trump. And people used to consume. There is no dose, there is no duration, there is no protocol. It is taken in the empty of a stomach or full stomach 2 times in a day or 3 times in a day. It should be incorporated with the other medicines or not.
There was not enough test data even.
Exactly. And ultimately proved it does not have any role. Rather, it creates the bleeding from the eyes and many blindness. So, how reckless his statement and how it can influence the mass people of the world. From the world, where third world countries declared, and he is the president of the whole world's world. Naturally, his every word having the testament, and every word has a weight. Now, why there is a MOU between the 2 countries? We become the optimistic. In this chair, we are optimistic as well. We told a lot of the optimistic words. And what is happening? Now says the chapter 5, as the 5 was again came. That was I am quoting. I don't go into the detail because into the 5 they say it is deviated. Iran is deviated from the 5. Okay, let us know how and which clause they are deviated. Or they said we did not mean it. So what do you mean it? Let us transparent. World is looking for this opinion. but we are yet to clear in which chapter 5 was, clause 5 rather, clause 5 was deviated by Iran, that was again come. And you already narrated that it becomes the multi-sectorial. You have uttered a beautiful words, that is dilemma of the Saudi. I do not say wanted. Saudi Arabia, since the very inceptions, they are one-eyed. Their support to the USA was very conspicuous.
Right.
But since they are the Muslim country, and this is the attack of the other than Muslim to the Muslim countries, that is Jews and they are allied to the Muslim country, so there might have the psychologically pressure from the OIC and the other Muslim country, and they are all the pilgrims go to the Saudi Arabia. So our respect to our Prophet's land, our other forefathers, Muslim forefathers' lands is there, our other, the peacemakers and all, this is our holy land. So we are always think it is not rather a country, rather the holy place. We have written only many books on the Makkah, Medina, our Nuzul and other persons. So this place is taken into other, but as you said, there is no dilemma. Rather, from my point of view, they are looking for a clue, or for a, in the Bangalore terminology is called Ojwat clue, that the excuses that they can attack and they can negotiate in a very befitting manner. They got a clue because, as you said, the Jordan is in the scenario, Houthi is the scenario again. Houthi attacked the naval power and they said they were blockaded in the Bandaman, as you said, and also China said, yes, don't take me in that way, negotiate me. So they have China passively recognized the Houthi, number one. Jordan was attacked again, and as you said, it becomes complicated. So they have the clue because Iran attacked the Saudi Arabia where the Markin bases were there, as you said. So it was the Markin base. If you are a sovereign country, why did you give your base? In the Bangladesh, many times we saw the processions. They are saying, we don't allow any country, I cannot be biased to any country, it's a sovereign country. Why should I allow to any country to make a military base to our country? Because they have already have welcoming and invade to the country the passive way. The military invasion is the separate thing. But the Saudi Arab has done it. Now, as you said, what happened again? By this clue, the things become complicated, and both of the parties, that means Iran and America, they again in the fought. But previously, there was a meeting, Trump, especially for the Lebanon wing and the Netanyahu's part, because this Lebanon is become the third part. Passively, it was involved. So there was an expectation again built, since again Trump in the scenario, and passively, if there is a tranquility on the Israel's part and the tranquility between the Lebanon parts, it was a tremendous positive impact, and it may pacify of both the hostile parts of the Iran and the America. Let me touch about the earthquake or as you said.
Please.
Now we know that global, this is the man-made disaster. It's a man-made disaster. The war is directly, it is indirectly. We know the many things, the deforestation and many things, man-made things. Now, nature is taking its revenge by its own languages. In the Japan, already earthquake, as you said. What will be happen in the Dhaka? We cannot foresee even. As a doctor, I cannot see what will be happen, because if it is really happen, what will be happen? First is required the medical support.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen,
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China
Cheap
to
medical installation. One is Dhaka Medical College, another is Sir Solimullah Medical College. Both are in the old part of the Dhaka, more or less. But this infrastructure, more than 50 years, they cannot take the load of the earthquake itself. So the building cannot take the load. So it really happened, the total medical system will be jeopardized. You cannot do any surgery, you cannot do any radiograph, you cannot do any laboratory test, you cannot give the ICU support, you cannot get the nurses, you cannot get the paramedics. There is no sewerage system, and there is every risk of the nuclear proliferations, biological and chemical warfare, and these were yet to get any medicine, and this is more or less invisible. And we don't have the yet to preparation, not in the Bangladesh, even the Japans. And we are, we have the risk of this tsunami, the after effect. So if tsunami really happened, it doesn't have the boundary. That must have the impact to our country as well. So we have to prepare. And as you know, Japan is geographically in a prone area that may be affected by the earthquake. So their infrastructure is prepared in that way. They know. They have the foresee.
They are technologically advanced.
Technology is based on that. But in the Bangladesh, I repeat, the way the Dhaka was made, the urban slum, it is very hard job for us to rescue, to provide the treatment, to provide the food, to the logistics system and others. That will be very worse and devastating phenomena if it has really happened.
Of course, a very excellent statements by Dr. Khosrow Samad, really touching up on the issues that started this very decade. It was a very rumbling year in 2020, as we've seen the COVID-19 taken multiple lives. As of 17th July 2026, 7 million people have been confirmed COVID-induced deaths reported worldwide. 7 million people wiped off of the face of the earth, as well as the doctor bringing up the urbanization issues of Dhaka city. We are also in a position that is very earthquake prone, as we see that it's happening. The creation of this geographical location of Bangladesh is actually very detrimental, as we must prepare for the next upcoming disaster. Have also been, this region has been very actively affected by tsunamis. Let's take a history lesson. In 2004, the Boxing Day tsunami was the very frightening tsunami that has caused multiple nations to become flooded, hit by this drastic natural event. With that being said, it's time to take a short commercial break. Afterwards, we look at more of these discussions, urbanization, geopolitics, as well as natural calamities. Do stay tuned for more on this very program.
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them.
testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump.
Welcoming our viewers back on International Affairs, we were listening to Dr. Khosrow Samad and his analysis of the worldwide issues from health concerns to geopolitics. It has been a very wide, complex arena of discussion. I want to turn to Norman Floyd Barnes. Really, I want to ask you about the 2020 disaster, the pandemic that has came about us today. 6 years on, it is still very contested. We see the Senate is questioning Dr. Anthony Fauci. And of course, Dr. Fauci is pleading to the fifth. I want to ask some of the ground realities as you've seen back in 2020. How was the situation of the common American? Of course, Donald Trump was still in power during that time, and medical shelves were lacking of medicines. A worldwide vaccine shortage was there. It was a complete mayhem as we see in the health sector. I want to ask you, sir, what are some realities, some memories you have when COVID was first found in the United States?
This subject is very dear to me. During that period of time, it was a very painful situation, tragic for my family. I lost my sister, my only sister. She was one of the first victims that took place. It was painfully obvious that there was no plan. There was a makeshift, I guess, attempt by our government to provide a vaccine that was not tested, not prepared, not ready, and really, as we will see, had little effect, if any, to dealing with the issue. Again, this situation, there's speculation, there's this virus emanated from a laboratory. Questions on that. It spread it worldwide. There was no plan. Again, no plan. We planned for military actions, war, dealing with issues, people we don't like. But when things happen like this, there's no plan. We have not discovered to the day what happened, why it happened, why so many people had to sacrifice their lives, including my sister. So I'm very skeptical about our governments in terms of dealing with the welfare of people. It appears that we always ready to jump, blame, point fingers at causes, but we have not come together in terms that we can help preserve and protect the people. Our governments has a one-dimensional approach to things. How does it benefit them? Each country, each person, each leader, regarding how to do things. And a lot of people made money, big money off of this, the death of people. And we are waiting right now, we're in a situation now with all of these situations happening on the world, including now Mother Nature, a second incident, a second pandemic, a second unanswered anomaly that cannot be explained medically. We cannot explain. As we know, in any disaster, man-made or nature, there's losses, there's casualties. But we have to understand unless we're able to mitigate and control and manage it, there will be more disaster. Disease follow that. Viruses develop. And then these things pop up and we wonder, oh, where did this come from? Well, it came from your ability not to do proper research, development, and plan for the future. Responding, reacting is not the key, is not the answer. You can't fix something that's already been broken, something has already happened. The gate is open, the flood is open, the flood is taking away people, killing people. We still have a situation back in Texas. You remember the summer camp, the girls was washed away in that region, and there's still no answer to that. They still talking about using that area. There's still no plan. Even though there was many recommendations on exactly what should be done, that area should never have been populated by people, and it was done solely on profit to make money, knowing that this area is risky. We still do it. So we move on. As we move on, a lot of this stuff, like my colleague said, is man-made. We know certain things, we have knowledge, but we still, for the terms of profit, we move forward and we put our citizens at risk because a quick dollar, making money. So the COVID situation is another situation where we try to salvage something that got out of our hand. We still don't know today exactly what is really happening. Will it come back? Has it resolved itself? Have we identified, was it COVID or was it something else? We still don't know. People are still dying. People are still dealing with this situation. So there are efforts that we have, particularly in the United States, on containment. It was noble, but not honorable.
Of course.
Thank you.
Our condolences to you, Norman, in your loss of a family member. Of course, I was also marked COVID positive in the summer of 2020, and I have also some detrimental memories from that very time. We still do not know, as you mentioned, whether this was a biohazard weapon of choice, spanning. It is a zoonotic disease, as I believe it spanned from bats. In a location, in a laboratory in Wuhan, China. So it's still unanswered. Much of it is still confusion to the masses, even while various vaccine companies have responded to the requirement, to the demand. We shall now focus on a different aspect, which is also important to understand the direction of governments worldwide. We look towards the protest in this region. I am not talking about the cockroach protest in India, but I'm talking about neighboring Pakistan. In the Pakistan-administered Kashmir, they have been hitting various locations. Various protesters have been harmed in this kind of state violence. They are looking at Azad Kashmir movement. And turning to Dr. Khosrow Samad, protesting has been the language of this decade, beginning with Sri Lanka, then following with Bangladesh and Nepal, and recently in India. And today we see that movement from June towards today, that there has been political sabotage in that area in Pakistan. How do you see this issue? People want Kashmir to be its own governing state. It is connected into various geopolitical circles, mind you, that a part of Kashmir also is claimed by India across the border. How do you see this very issue?
Thank you very much. In the 1947, as we know, the British fled away and they divided this country, and the formula they have proposed, that is two-nation theory. Only this world, throughout the world, only this country or this domain who was divided by the name of the religion. So they have told this is the demarcated land for the Muslims, that is Pakistan, and this is the demarcated land for the Hindus, that is Hindustan or India. All we know. But the king system and another co-locating, that was the Kashmir. That was in the dilemma, because they are not conspicuously neither the Hindu nor the Muslim was in that much top ranking, because the king was the likely not Muslim, I suppose. So as they are in the dilemma, they thought it should be divided, like Bangladesh was divided, so they are divided. And ultimately the Kashmir became the plot and plotted. Now one is the Indian, pro-Indian Kashmir, and is the Azad Kashmir. Right. So still people are confusing with the Azad Kashmir and the India front Kashmir. Two are absolutely separated, and they have the sovereignty system and the others is there. And there is the one part of the Chinese Kashmir as well. So
through the Siachen glacier, there's a glacier as well.
Exactly, it's called the Chinese Kashmir. So their thinking process, their geopolitics, their military matter, their sovereignty, their nature of the job is absolutely different. Now another thing, as you said, the cockroach party. Let us focus on the cockroach party.
Please.
It was apparently so, not apparently. Their first point was not the oppose the regime of the present government. Like in the Bangladesh, they are on the single point ultimately. They want to get rid of the fascism. That is very clear. They specified the name of the Hasina, and ultimately we own over the. But India, they have told initially there are the many problems in the education system, especially the question papers come out, and ultimately there is a distortion of the education systems, and it tremendously influence the education system of India. Now Bangladesh and India's system is absolutely different, because Bangladesh itself is a one province, there is no province system, one territory, absolutely one territory,
one state.
And one state, and hardly difference between the culture of the Dhaka to Chittagong, or Chittagong to Dinajpur, or Dinajpur to Kumilla, more or less same. But the provinces like the UP or Madhya Pradesh or Kerala or other part or West Bengal is absolutely separate. They have the richest rich, poorest poor. They are the Maoist, and they have the extremists and others. And now the government party is BJP. They are the fundamentalists. They have declared themselves. So it was very hard job to transmit the feelings or spirit of the cockroach party to the all over the India.
To hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International affairs. Watch every Sunday.
As they said, military point of the view, they have the extreme policy making and the foresee about the Kashmir issue. As his points and his focus and his voice gives a new dimension for the Pakistan. That is why it is one of the points to be the field marshal. Now another part is also a very sentimental issue, that is Balochistan. We have focus here. The separations of the Balochistan was a point for the Baloch people before the inception of the Bangladesh. But their struggle is becoming very sporadic. Okay, let us think about ourselves. 1947 we are separated, but we took 1947 to 71. It is not the war of the 71 for the 9 months only. That was a bloodshed extremely, but the struggle got a momentum. 69, 70, death of the Assad, 52, the language movement, Salam, Barkot, Rafiq, as we know. So it got a momentum, and ultimately 1971 we have the arm, and we declared officially in the Kolurghat and the many places, and ultimately we won over after the heavy bloodshed, most likely the most bloodshed. By the only 9 months it crosses the Vietnamese bloodshed as well. So ultimately we win over. So my point is that I foresee there might go into something deeper which we did not expect even. One point must be incorporated, that is the that is Imran Khan, as we know, the ex-president. He was given the imprisonment But isolated imprisonment, that means he is not allowed to talk to the other persons. And it is given for a long period, which causes psychological tremendous pressure. You think about yourself, you think about myself. If you get isolated for 1 day, okay, it's nice. 2 days, okay, nice. But the couple of the days, it becomes more than a jail. So it was given the solitary imprisonment.
Confinement, yes.
So these are the multi-sectorial factors which influences the Pakistan politics, and India also giving the pressure in the different old, which is not yet to be settled, issue was also being pressurized. But the positive role of Pakistan, specific Asim Munir, in the fight of the Iran, and that was what I say, ice melting issue.
Right.
But we must be hard lucky that does not give any ultimately weightage of both of the parts of the USA and Iran.
Of course, excellent statements by Dr. Khosrow Samad. Why Pakistan has been up for discussion is because run up to the legislative elections in Pakistan administered Kashmir, there has been at least 40 people who have been killed. Of those, 34 were protesters, 6 were police, paramilitary personnel, and Rawalakot has seen some of the worst violence. Run up to an election in America is on the cards as well. Just a very short question towards Norman. Do you predict any kind of violence that might erupt in the United States? We see the midterm elections are coming through. Just your comment before I can go for a break. Norman.
In following with the tone and the patterns of what's happening in the world, everyone knows that this is a very important election time, particularly the Republican Party, particularly the Trump administration. So you can expect there will be attempts to disrupt, dismantle, and mitigate the process. The president himself has already announced that the election process is flawed. And I can expect, and you should expect, there will be something that comes out just before, in the nick of time, stating that the election is invalid and we may go into a state of some type of emergency or some type of COVID situation may develop to prevent voters from coming out to vote. Is
Right.
that drastic right now in terms of the situation? Something will come up to influence and impact the results of this election. Either they will say it's invalid, corruption, or some other situation will come up and someone else will be placed the blame on. The blame will be placed on something that someone is doing something that is not legal and, my word, honorable.
Right. Thanking Norman Floyd Barnes. Excellent recap of events, excellent statements regarding the upcoming midterm elections. Let us go on for a short commercial break. Afterwards, there will be more for us to discuss on this very program. I request my audience to stay tuned. Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
Opening an open war conflict with them.
testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last segment of International Affairs on a Thursday, and there is some interesting news that is spanning for our region. The Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has announced that Myanmar has agreed to repatriate 5,000 Rohingya from mainland Malaysia and 300,000 Rohingya from Bangladesh following diplomatic negotiations. The U.S. Ambassador to India and South Asia, Sergio Gore, shall be in Dhaka today to understand the situation of Bangladesh, the nexus of geopolitics, as well as visiting these Rohingya camps that are situated in the borders of Cox's Bazar here in Bangladesh. Just to ask Dr. Samad, how do you see this foreign diplomat's visit to Bangladesh? The Rohingya situation has been a detriment to our society ever since 2018. A refugee crisis just on Bangladesh's shore. How do you see this? Malaysia is taking a big role in trying to fix this regional issue.
Thank you very much. Rohingya issue is an old issue. Even then, for the couple of the minutes, let me focus. They are the human beings, they are the Muslims. Above all, they are the human beings. They could not take the torture of the Myanmar. Ultimately, they have to flee away to rescue their own life and their families. And the way they came to the Bangladesh, that was also very threatening for the life. However, Bangladesh is itself is a overcrowded, overpopulated state. In addition to that, that was very hard job for us to take the extra population. We did not tell that it's a burden because they are the human being, as I said. But this is a question of to feed them, to give them nutrition, to give them feeding, to give them education, social security, future, and many more. So that was a very hard job for Bangladesh, and already 6 years has gone. We did not get any fruitful result where it can be settled amicably. But as you said, if really it happened, if as I said, the Malaysia should take the part of the, I don't say the refugee, rather the this human being, and if USA correction, the China pressurize the Myanmar, only China's pressurize, I suppose, will be effective, because Myanmar also taking into cognizance of the China's direction, it is be easier to solve the problem. Mitigations, especially I think they are their motherland. They will be happy to be settled peacefully as they were before to their own motherland. So from my point of view, that is first preference to be settled in their own motherland. If it is not that much possible, partly maybe settled in the other land as well.
Okay, excellent statements from Major Dr. Khosrow Samad. I thank you for your analysis, your understanding, your patience and contributions to this very program, International Affairs. I thank you for joining us today. Welcome. I also want to thank Norman Floyd Barnes all the way from United States for providing us a perspective of Washington. And I want to end on a fact that today is 30th July. It is noted as International Friendship Day according to the UNGA. This is celebrated every year to build friendship, mutual respect and trust among people across race, religion, language and culture. And I also want to end on a thank you note to our producer in the house, Imrul Chaudhary. This would be his last effective broadcast with us. I thank you for your service to our company as well. Thanking you and wishing you a well adventure ahead in your future endeavors. With that being stated, I am signing out on International Affairs.